because I can see my face. It says I'm live. Hello. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Andrea. Welcome to my live stream. I'm excited today to talk about what I created out of like a Pringles tube. It's actually bigger than a Pringles tube. We're also going to talk about some challenge crafts and what I learned actually from this craft. And then I'm going to show you how to make a exclusively hot glue free Halloween nutcracker out of a Pringles can. It's crazy. It's awesome. So stick around. Now you're probably wondering, if you are new to the Andrea Curry experience, what the heck I'm wearing. I normally have some weird stuff going on. This is a Squishmallows costume. And I just want to talk about a costume story for a hot second here, okay? Because we're getting close to Halloween. And this is not intended for me. This is actually intended for my son. I'll tell you a little story about a parenting fail that includes the challenge of crafting. So one day we're in Sam's Club. This is about a month ago, long before Halloween stuff should be out on the shelves. And we come across a big old pile of these Squishmallow costumes. Now they come on and off like vests, okay? So really actually very cozy. So my sweet, adorable son makes a beeline for these costumes and basically dives into this pile of costumes. And I'm like laughing really hard. And so I get my camera phone out and I'm like filming him because he was like putting them on and doing like a fashion show throughout Sam's Club, right? Like this kid is like loving these costumes. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the price tag and it's $35. Okay. Seems kind of reasonable considering that like Squishmallows in general, like the big ones are about 30 bucks. So I'm like, I don't know, like, does this kid really like this or is this like a momentary thing? And he's just like hamming it up for the camera. And I was like, okay, fun's over. We got to go shopping. And he's like, but I'm going to get a Squishmallow. I want this bat Squishmallow. And I was like, if that's going to be the costume that you're going to wear for Halloween, I'm fully support buying it because it is very cute. And because I'm thinking in my parent head, like, no kid chooses their costume like that far in advance. It just never happens, right? And so I'm like, okay, you have to promise to me. And I had my camera on him. I recorded this. I said, you have to promise to me that you are actually going to wear this for Halloween. And he's like, and he looks at the camera and he says, yes, I will wear this for Halloween. And I'm like, okay, bot, totally gonna get it. I mean, let's be honest, I love it too. So I buy the cute bat, Squishmallow. Fast forward to October, which, you know, just started. And he is telling his friends at school that he's gonna be a clone trooper from Star Wars. Those are basically stormtroopers before they were stormtroopers. So he is set on being a clone trooper. I had no idea that this was a thing that he was telling everybody. So he comes home one day and he goes, I'm telling everybody that you're going to make me a stormtrooper, clone trooper helmet. And I'm like, what? Like, you're going to be a Squishmallow bat. Like, that's what you're going to be. He's like, yeah, but like, you're going to make it. And I'm like, I don't recall agreeing to that. And he's like, well, like, you can make anything, you know? And I'm like, actually, I do like a good challenge, you know? Because that's my addiction is I love a good challenge. This is why I loved Craft Wars. It was great challenge. This is why I do these weekly segments. I love a good challenge. But it's also, on the flip side of it, a bad thing for me because he goes, it's a great challenge. We can like upcycle some stuff. And I'm like, yeah, actually we could upcycle some stuff. Yeah, like I could totally do that. Some spray paint, you know, like some foam, like we could totally do this. And I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking about it. And he's coming home like every day, like, oh yeah, I'm like hyping up my friends. I'm telling him my mom's creating this awesome stormtrooper helmet. And I'm like, oh man, like I haven't even started this thing. And then this morning, he on the way to school, he goes, so you're going to work on the stormtrooper helmet, right? And today. And I said, well, I kind of have, some work to do here. I have a live stream and I have a bunch of other stuff to do. And he's like, but like, we got to get started on that because Halloween's coming up and all my friends at school are like expecting to see this awesome handmade stormtrooper helmet. And I'm like, well, kid, like we can work on it over the weekend. And then like, when I get back, Cliff and I always go for a morning walk, and Cliff goes, I think you got in over your head on this challenge. And I was like, yeah, like Gavin's really, what would you say? Excited, maybe I've overcommitted. Like that's definitely, I've overcommitted to this challenge of doing this. And he goes, you know what? It feels like he's commissioned you for some sort of, art piece, craft piece, that sort of thing. And he's not paying you. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. And it made me realize that like the heat of the challenge was, and of course the love of my son, was like so high that I forgot like that's a lot of work. And I have a lot of stuff to do, but I was up for the challenge. It turns out I'm probably just going to buy a helmet on Amazon. So, but I also told Cliff, I was like, I should buy a helmet on Amazon and tell him that I made it, but I can't be that parent. So, so it's just suffice to say, the moral of the story is, as much as I love a challenge and I love upcycling things and making things into cool stuff, I can fall into traps, especially when it comes to my loved ones saying that they want something and me trying to achieve that thing in unrealistic, expectations. So I don't know if any of you have experienced that before, but I would love to hear your stories of that as well. And also, what are you going to be for Halloween, or what are your kids going to be for Halloween? Lots of people I know are going all out with like different costumes for different parties and stuff like that, which is pretty amazing. And I always love to hear what people are going to be for Halloween. Gavin has also decided on what I'm going to be for Halloween, which is funny because Gavin and I are very obsessed with Star Wars. So he wants to be a clone trooper and he wants me to be Rey. And I was like, well, that's an easy costume. So yes, I will totally be Rey. And then we're asking Cliff, like, what do you want to be from Star Wars? And Cliff's like, I don't want to be anything from Star Wars. And Gavin says, you should be R2D. No, you should be C3PO because you're bald. And I said, we can spray paint him gold, which I think that Gavin may have taken seriously. So we need to watch out for him trying to acquire gold spray paint. All right. So without further ado, let's talk about what I created out of, and I don't have it on hand now because I used it in a project, what I created out of basically a Pringles can. It was a can that was bigger than a Pringles can, and it had a really nice top on it. I did create something really neat with it. Cliff was like, oh, you're going to just create some luminaries like these guys right here, which are totally adorable, by the way. But I was like, no, I can't just create more luminaries. I need to create something else, something unique. So I created a nutcracker, and I recorded that. That episode will come out tomorrow, but you guys get a first reveal of this nutcracker. And then we're going to make a nutcracker exclusively without hot glue. So I'm going to show you this guy. It's actually so interesting because I was not expecting, I guess, like how big it was going to turn out. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is like much taller than I expected it to be. And I will say that the process leading up to this, I was a little bit like, what's it going to look like? That sort of thing. And I did something that I don't do all the time and I should do all of the time, which is I sketched out what I was envisioning for this pumpkin Halloween nutcracker. And it looks a little childish, but I just was sitting there one night, we're watching some sort of Halloween movie, and I was like, okay, I got to sketch out at least the general concept of what I'm trying to achieve with this nutcracker. And so I sketched that out, and then I started to feel a lot better about this challenge because I could actually see what I was trying to achieve. And I was like, okay, this is going to look pretty cute. And then I started to dig in. So I came up to the craft room, which is, this is just like an eighth of the craft room that you're seeing right here. I came up to the craft room and I started to play around with some materials. And I thought, the biggest issue I'm going to have is, what am I going to use for legs? What am I going to use for arms? I already knew that I was probably going to use a Dollar Tree pumpkin, which I had on hand. And I thought at first what I was going to do was take some PVC pipe and create some legs and arms. And then I realized, the real challenge here actually isn't me creating this, because I have everything in here. I have everything in my craft room, and I have all the tools. I have all of the things. And I'm like, the real challenge here actually is creating something that everyday creative people and crafters that don't have a craft room full of supplies can create. And so I was like, well, this is out, because think about it. Somebody says, oh, I created PVC pipe legs. Okay, now you have to have one of these, which are fun, by the way. But are you a plumber? Probably not. So unless you have one of these around, you're probably not going to make a PVC pipe leg nutcracker. So instead of doing that, I thought, okay, well, maybe there's, some cardboard tubes, that sort of thing. You need some pretty big ones for this particular craft. Oh, I don't want to show you yet. But what I did realize that people have easier access to nowadays is, guess what I used for the legs? Where did I didn't put a piece of it down here. Well, I used pool noodles. So Dollar Tree pool noodles is what I use. I can't find some remnants. I know I had some up here. But right where? Cliff is telling me where it is. Hold on. I can't see it. I know I put it nearby.
Oh, no, that's film. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's okay. I used a piece of a pool noodle to create the legs and the arms. So, and you're going to be like, what? How do you do that? How do you use pool noodles for legs that are supposed to be stable? So I'm going to show you right now the final product, which is about 2 feet tall. It's insane. It's hard to actually show full on camera. Are you guys ready? Ta-da! Meet pumpkin nutcracker. He's so cute. This was one of those projects where I started it and I had, a good idea because I sketched it out, but I wasn't sure about the pool noodles on the legs. And you can see I covered them up with decorative duct tape, but I also got that at the Dollar Tree. And so it was a really inexpensive project, actually. So when I think about it, the head was $1, probably used a dollar's worth of duct tape and a few of my, embellishments. Well, let's just count that. It's a $3 project because I used one of those crazy cardboard tubes. So yeah. So I'm glad that you like it, my crafty adventures. So thanks for coming, by the way. I definitely, so one of the things I was hoping that somebody in the audience, the live audience, could tell me today what they think is, should I add a nose? A little nose to him, or should I leave it? And also, should I add those mutton chops that that people that nutcrackers have? Should I add those too? I don't know. Let's see. Because I recorded the creation of this, and I had like a lot of really interesting insights into creativity itself, just because it really made me think a little bit deeper on like why I was so fascinated with this project, and why I was so fascinated with like where did my creativity come from. And I reflected on my dad making my sister and I nutcrackers for Christmas. And it was just like this really interesting project. And so I can't wait to release that video to you guys tomorrow. But I wanted to show you before live what I created. And I'm telling you right now, like seriously, I'm setting him on the table, and I'm pretty sure he's over 2 feet tall. So like you can't hear, he can sit next to me. Look at that. Oh, Cliff is saying, does he get ears? How will he wear glasses? Oh, thanks, my crafty adventures. She says, or he says, I like him how he is. And I was trying to name him, and then I thought Gavin will probably name him. And I was like, oh, like Gavin names things like with an IE or a Y at the end. I was like pretty sure he was going to name this Pumpy, because that just seems to be what he adds to like any. And then I asked him last night, I was like, what would you name this nutcracker? And he's like, I would name him Bones. And I was like, what? Like, what? It's like so random. I'm like, there's like nothing about, maybe the arms look like bones or something like that, but like super, super random. Hi, Caroline. Thanks for telling us who you are so I can say your name. Yeah, so it was kind of super random. Now I'm going to go over some of the details of this in a little bit more, because in the video that I'm going to set out tomorrow, I don't totally talk about like every single detail, and because, I have to do speed up footage, that sort of thing. But like the hardest part was anchoring him to this like dollar store. Oh, I forgot this is $1 here. So it's about $4 project. Let's say under $5. So anchoring him to this base, because I thought maybe like he was going to be able to stand on his own. These are little foam shoes that are also made out of pool noodle. But when it came out, he was like falling over. So I had to like hot glue him to a base. And I probably would make this base a little bit more decorative in the future. But one of the things that I recommend having on hand, no matter who you are, is a paint Sharpie marker that's white and black. Get white and black is what I'm saying. Because that's how you do like the finer details down the boots, and that's how you do the finer details down like the body. And then I used a black one on the arms here. And then I just took like those little foam, I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, these little foam pumpkins from Dollar Tree, cut them in half and made pumpkin shoulder pads because I guess he's an 80s nutcracker. I don't know. And, I have some embellishments on hand. So I used those embellishments. And I think what really took it up a notch was these jewels that I have here. So what I love about it is that it's a very versatile craft. I mean, you don't have to do a pumpkin head. You can do all kinds of Halloween witch, you could do a vampire. In fact, I thought, man, I've got to find myself another one of these cool cardboard containers, because I want 2 of these guys sitting by the front door. I think that would be super cute. I like the versatility of him, and he just turned out very cute. And I put like a little pumpkin on his hat, and I was considering a nose, but it's good to know that Caroline says, leave it as it is. Cliff says ears. Which I think would be very odd. But, and then, like little bow tie accessorizing is like the funnest part. One thing I learned about myself during this process was I was wrapping the pool noodle, and I'm like, this is looking bad. Like straight up, I'm like, this is looking pretty darn bad. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, I might have to give up on this one. Like, I might have to tap out and not like do this particular project. And I'm like, no, Andrea, you don't give up. You wouldn't let your son give up. So let's see it through, because you know what matters? Accessorizing. That's the moral of the story, is accessorizing. So I was like, I'm going to get to the accessorizing part. So I started with the duct tape. It's shiny, which helps a lot with wrapping foam. It kind of hides the imperfections and like the folds and stuff like that. And then once you start realizing, oh yeah, you know, like I can put a few things here and there and add some texture, then it's like all of a sudden towards the end of the project, I'm like, I'm so glad that I actually like saw this one through, because it is adorable and it's so tall and it makes a great statement. It's very creative. And I just love that you can personalize this to whatever you want to do and whatever you have on hand, quite frankly. Now, I will say I used a lot of hot gluing. So I hot glued a lot. I say this in the video that I'm going to release tomorrow, but I tend to stay away from like a lot of spray paint crafts, because I just honestly, like, I don't know. There's something about having to go out into the garage or outside and set up a spray paint thing and doing all of that like just I can't mentally get past. And I also realize that not a lot of people have, you know, access to spray painting. And so I was like, how can I do this without spray paint? That's why I came up with the duct tape. And then I was like, towards the end, I'm thinking, well, how can people do this with a Pringles can? I mean, a lot of people have chip cans laying around, or maybe they're thinking, oh, I have a good reason to go buy a chip can. It's a good way to repurpose it. However, can I create a craft, a cool craft that's a lot like this, you know, like it's a Halloween nutcracker out of a Pringles can without using this hot glue? Because yet again, I want to challenge myself to, here, I'm going to put them over here so you can see them. I want to challenge myself to create with what average crafters may or may not have, or families, right? You know, this is I'm thinking like, do I want my son wielding a hot glue gun right now? No, I don't, because that just always ends up bad. So I thought, how can I do this with very little materials, very, you know, like no tools except for maybe some scissors, and make it look cute? I tell you what, I did it. And and I haven't finished all of it just yet, but I will show you how I turned this into this. Whoa! But he's not totally complete yet, because, hold on one second, I did make him a little headband. Right. Oh, you can't see him. Just hold on. Let me go a little bit lower. Whoa, don't fall. Don't fall. Okay. I did make him a little headband. And I did all of this without using any hot glue. In fact, I was going to finish that up just by putting a little bit more green tape over that. I love what you just said, Caroline. If you can't hide it, decorate it. That is so true. I mean, like, and I have said that about decorating for ages, especially, you know what's the best at hiding things? Glitter. Glitter hides things like insane style. That's why I was saying this shiny tape here. That stuff will cover, it'll just like, it'll cover things up. You won't be able to see. I mean, look, this dimensional tape. Look at that. I mean, like, how do you even know what's going on in there? Like, there's no way that you're going to see anything too crazy. So I made a Frankenstein nutcracker out of just this Pringles can. And I'm kind of in love with him. I haven't finished him off yet. I'll show you the trick to creating him without having even like there's no specialized feet or anything like that or legs. What I did was I strategically cut his body so that it looks like he has legs right there. Frank, what did you say, Cliff? What if you made him a piggy bank for Gavin? Oh, Frankentime. That's cute. Actually, I like that. I think Gavin would like that. Frankentime. So I think that this is great because if you're doing this with kids, which is a great kids craft, they can, accessorize to their liking. There's no hot glue involved. And you can, you're going to have to help them, make the cuts in the legs, but that's pretty much it. If you throw some decorative tape on the table and like a few stickers, that sort of things, a Sharpie marker, and the trick for the arms is actually boba straws, and you can get those at the Dollar Tree as well. So let me grab one so you can see what they look like. They come in, I don't know, packs of 50 or 70 or something like that. But these are the arms. Okay, so if you're going to go to the Dollar Tree, let's say you're going to go to the Dollar Tree and you want to do this. You already have your Pringles can, so that's, that's your main part here. You grab some boba straws. I use these a lot for a lot of different things. So, and usually it's not anything to do with drinking anything. So I always have these on hand. They're very helpful. So that's his arms right there. And then, some decoration, right? You can always use pipe cleaners on basically everything. A couple rolls of tape just because you want a few different colors. And maybe some pom-poms. I put little pom-pom feet on him. I don't know if that's totally necessary. I do think that it's kind of cute and fun for kids. And then depending on how old the kid is, if you trust them with Sharpie markers, then you can Sharpie marker on their face. Or, I'll show you a little bit closer. It's harder to see. Or, you can get those foam eyes or the googly eyes. I'm sure Gavin will want to put googly eyes on his, because we're going to do a session like this weekend with this. But he wants to do a witch, which I think is really cute idea. And I think Cliff, what did you want to do?
I wanted to make an overpowered nutcracker.
Oh gosh, yes. Okay, so we were talking about nutcrackers the other morning, and I said, look guys, I want to do like a fun Halloween nutcracker session where we craft nutcrackers together for Halloween. And Gavin gets it. The kid's like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. I'll do a witch. And Cliff is like sitting there, and I'm like, why are you thinking so much about this? This is just like decorate, some Pringles cans sort of thing. And he's sitting there and he's like doing his thing. And I'm like, guy, like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, I don't like the look on your face right now. It is devious and it looks like crazy. And so like later in the day, he's like, we just chopped down a tree, and he's like, I know, I'll make a nutcracker out of the tree. And I was like, we're not making real nutcrackers. And he's like, but that's what I do. I make like crazy, like stuff. And I'm like, but like, can we just decorate, some Pringles cans? Like it's not literally a nutcracker. It is a decorative nutcracker. And he's like, no. I'm going to make a real nutcracker. And I'm like, so it's just going to be Gavin and I decorating. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Caroline, for selling me out. Don't give this guy any more ideas. So I was thinking we're just going to have a family session, like we did with the candy corn. Like we did with these cute little candy corn guys where Gavin made this cheerleader. La, 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 la. you know, and I'm like, yeah, we'll do something like that. But no, Cliff is like, I'm going to like power tool my way into like a crazy nutcracker. And Gavin and I are just going to be off to the side decorating with pom-poms and glitter. So that's another story there. Anyway, so let me show you how I actually created the legs, because that is actually critical to making this project work when you're doing this with other people. Let's see. Let me measure. I actually didn't measure yesterday, so me measure. Cliff's looking at me like, you measured? Yeah, right. Okay, so it's about 3.5 inches up the can for the legs, and that's going to be. Oh wait, I'm going to do it from here, from the opening. So I'll mark 3.5 inches up, and then it is about 2 inches over. Which marker am I going to use? I'll just use this red one. All right. Oh, there happens to be a line kind of already there that I can follow. So I just made, it's hard to see, but I just made a line there. And then about, I'm not going to measure the rest of this, about 2 inches over. And then you're creating the letter T essentially. So create the letter T. Oh, can't see it. Can you? Oh, create the letter T. Oops, I'm going crazy. I can't go backwards on this. Okay. So kind of looks like a Mandalorian mask. And then you just cut the letter T. No like actual cutting out material. You're just slicing the material. Now, because these particular cans aren't Pringles cans, they actually are easier to cut. Some cans have that like metal piece here, and these just don't. They're just like the heavy rolled cardboard. So it's easy for me to cut through this, but it may not be as easy with the other cans that have the metal rings on them, which by the way, those metal rings are actually pretty fun to use if you cut them off of those cans. I know I'm weird, but that's just what I do. So I'm gonna just do a rough demonstration of how you do the legs and achieve the leg portion of this. I do not cut the same T on the back because I think it actually adds more stability to just leave it. And you can't really see here, like it kind of makes a heart shape. Like you can't really tell from the front that like there's nothing cut out on the back. I suppose we could experiment with that and see if it actually works well and looks better. You want to try it? I don't know. I'm willing to try it. Does anybody else want to try it? Let's see. You want me to try it for real? Okay, all right, I'll give it a shot. Go up. I don't know. I'm not feeling very confident about Cliff telling me to experiment, but let's do this together. Confidence! Oh! I mean, you could use a razor blade, but I don't think I should be trusted with a razor blade today. I feel a little bit clumsy. All right, I don't want to cut all the way through to the other side because then I'll just be cutting the legs off. So I'm just going to cut some relief cuts and we'll see if this works. So originally this guy, I just pushed in his legs like that. Okay, pushed in his legs like that. And then now that we have the same cut on the other side, I'm feeling a little bit scared. Okay. Okay, it's a little bit. Let's see, does he stand? Oh, guys, he's a little wonk. He's a little wonky. But you never know until you try and put some of that tape on. So let's do that. I'm going to make him into maybe a zombie. So let's put some tape on. Let's put some green tape on him. Where did it? Oh, there it is. Let's just get those legs secured and see if he actually stands. This actually, okay, now that I'm thinking about it, I did have kind of a hard time with getting the tape into these legs here. So let's see if this actually makes it easier. I think it might be easier. Get out of the way.
Tape at Dollar Tree?
I did get this tape at Dollar Tree. They seem to have, and what I liked about this tape was, okay, let me, hold on, before I get into this. This is a very critical moment. There's lots of different tapes at Dollar Tree. So like this one right here came from Dollar Tree, but it's not the like metallic holographic shiny stuff. I'll tell you right now, this tape sucks right here. This purple tape, like without the holographic stuff. Let me show you. It is like terrible to work with. Where can I find this? There we go. It is so thin. I mean, like that will not cover up any imperfections. But this holographic stuff, which is the same price as this holographic stuff actually is thick and nice. So I would recommend, if you're going to Dollar Tree and you find the holographic stuff, get that and get a couple more if you're a serious crafter. All right. And also, I mean, hey, holidays are coming. Can't have enough sparkly stuff. All right. Also, working with duct tape is, I mean, not everybody's jam, but I totally love working with duct tape. See, look, I can put his little feetsies, just pull those right in, like that. All right. Let's just see if he's, okay, he's a little bit, so far, I'm not going to make a judgment until I get, like, all of his legs done. And also, I'm not sure about the shoes. Maybe we can do mock shoes on him, mock boots on him. But, I mean, okay, I'm not mad about this experiment. I think this experiment was pretty good. He's kind of, I don't know, there's going to have to be some, I don't know, I'm not in love with how wrinkly that turned out compared to this guy. I mean, it's hard to see. But again, like I said before, shiny and glittery things tend to distract you from all of the imperfection. So maybe if we just finish off the legs, we'll have something that looks good. Sorry, I just realized I'm not in craft cam mode. Well, I was, but my project wasn't. All right, let's see. All right, so Dollar Tree, it was for the tape. Actually, everything in this project was from the Dollar Tree, except for the Pringles can. Although I've never gone down the snack aisle at Dollar Tree, but I would assume that they might have something like Pringles at Dollar Tree. That tape on the bottom does not want to stay there. And oh, another thing that I did a little tutorial on during my pumpkin nutcracker video was how to get around awkward objects with tape. So specifically for the feet of this guy here, and it has a lot to do with like relief cutting and this little, this guy. Hold on. It has a lot to do with relief cutting, which I learned from, basic sewing lessons, right? So like if you're going to sew around a corner or something that's round, then you do relief cuts in order to make it not bunch up a lot. And I think I think that is really helpful in a lot of applications, especially with tape as well. So can't wait to release that video so that you can see all of the little tips and tricks that I have. Okay, so check it. I'm not in love with his wonky legs. He's gonna need some like shoes to balance him out. Or yes, Caroline, it's cutting the little slits. So I can show you. Like it's might be hard to see here, but like what I did was I put a piece of tape, like a piece of rectangular tape over the top. And then I went all the way down to the project. And then I just folded those over this way, like that. So yes, it's cutting the little slits. It's like a relief cut so that the material has room to go like that. Yeah. All right, good. So I love all of the different projects that people can do with duct tape. I mean, I've seen teenagers do those prom dresses in duct tape, which is amazing, right? I guess this is off-brand duct tape. So anyway, so now you know how to make at least the legs, and I will take suggestions on how to decorate this guy, but I'm still kind of like, I don't know. What do you think? If I was to, I don't know, man, the separation of the legs look pretty cool, like pretty legit, like a nutcracker. But this guy also looks good. He has, like a defined leg area, but this one does look more nutcrackery, doesn't it? I'm going to have to finish it off, aren't I? Yeah. I think I am. But we are running out of time, and I need for you guys to pick out a random comeback craft material for me to work with next week. So, in case you're new, I had Cliff, because I think he was the only one in the room at the time, pick out material from this box right here. From this box right here of random upcycled weird stuff, what I'm going to be challenged with creating next week. So last week he chose a big cardboard, Pringles can kind of container. This week, let's see what's inside of the box. The comeback craft materials you have to choose from, let me go through all of them before you choose, are, looks like a variation of egg carton, plastic egg cartons. These are pretty cool. I actually have been meaning, I usually use these for painting, so like especially with kids, because like these are perfect little color pockets right here, and then you put the water in the middle. It's like just really good for painting. However, if I am challenged to use this for something other than practical uses, I would figure something out. Another plastic container, which looks similar, but it looks like it's for apriums, which are apricots and plums, I think. They were actually pretty good. And then I kept this container because I'm a hoarder. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And that also could be used for, painting and stuff like that. Also, I was thinking, I'm like, this is great for ornament storage. I mean, look at that. It's like basically ornament size storage. Let me just do that. But I feel like I could also come up with something good there too. And then I bought these at Dollar Tree because they looked weird and kind of like space movie. I don't know why I bought these, but here we are with these random things. Probably, I think these are used for like grilling or baking or something like that. But, I just buy things because they look like they're going to become something else. Because I have a problem. Okay, so there's that. Last week, I was trying to get somebody to choose this cool box with the insert because I don't know, I cool. Also great for organization, but like the box and that plastic, this is cookies, you know, for cookies, but like, I don't want to throw that away. That just looks, look, all the different angles, like that could be so many things. And also, I do say, if you're going to pick something, have a theme in mind, and then I will be going towards that theme. So I have that. And then also last week, because I was trying to get Cliff to pick these as well, I wanted Cliff to pick these because I wanted to do kind of like a Halloween house sort of thing. But then when you flip it over, it's Christmas. That sort of thing. So I got these at the Dollar Tree, and they have been sitting here forever. So I was like, oh, I'll just throw that in the box and see if anybody picks it. So those are the choices. Caroline, I'm letting you pick because you've been the most active. If you are still there, you get to choose from all of this junk on what I create for next week's live session. All right. Yes, she likes the cookie box. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Thank you, Caroline. I can't express to you how much gratitude I have for you picking the cookie box with this awesome insert in it. Okay, now, second question, Caroline. What theme? Last week we were saying Halloween. All right, that's how the pumpkin nutcracker came to be. And this week could still be Halloween if you want it to be. Could be Christmas, could be whatever you think. Could be fairy woodland garden. It's screaming fall truck to me. Ooh, screaming fall truck. I would have never thought of that. Okay, whoa, girl. You have my mind spinning. I am so appreciative of you. Okay, so I will work on the comeback craft being a fall truckish maybe theme, using this cookie box with insert. All right. I'm excited to release the pumpkin nutcracker video mañana, and look out for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and tell your friends, because the more the merrier when it comes to crafting, and leave a comment as well. Okay, Caroline, love you, girl. Thanks for coming, and we'll get going.
When do you go live again?
We're going to go live next Friday. Unless, I don't know, I'm getting feedback. Maybe Thursdays might be better. So, Caroline, if you prefer Thursday or Friday, I will take it into account. All right. Let's see. Does she say? Do you say, Caroline? I'm looking. Okay, she's going to keep an eye out. All right. All right. Thanks so much. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye. Oh, wait. I got to have Pumpkin say goodbye. Goodbye. Nice meeting you, Caroline. I don't know why it's not ending.